So, Tasha, do you think you're gonna watch any of the NFL games this year with me?
No, I'm not watching no NFL games. I'm still protesting. I don't want to be sellout like you.
Oh, pardon me. If I'm a sellout, then your guy that you always listen to and all that stuff, your guy Jay-Z was be a sellout too.
No, don't you dare talk about Jay-Z like that. Honey.
I'm just saying, he didn't even
No. Stop. Don't do it.
Okay, all right. You already know whose turn it is to go first this week, hunty. First of all, I don't care what nobody think about the situation with Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z. The fact of the matter is, both of them have two different methods that they are implementing in order to try to get some kind of justice. Now, I know people out there yammering on and all of that stuff, calling people sellouts and all that stuff. I would just like to say that you are entitled to your opinion. And however you feel that the problem should be addressed, you should probably put some action into place. That's all I got to say on that. Thank you. However you see that. Okay? Because there's more than one way, and using an archaic, cruel sounding metaphor, more than one way to skin a cat. Okay? I would not skin a cat because I don't eat cats. Alright. Anyway. I barely eat meat. In any shape, form, or fashion. But I digress. Alright, so on into my topics. This is going to be a dumpy, heavy filled review of the week's events. So my award, I guess, for this week, he gonna probably have this award until he finally get out of office. But the fact of the matter is, Dumpy deserves the white privilege report this week because of the simple fact that if Barack Obama did half of the shit that this man has done in office, do you know they would have tried to put Barack Obama under the jail if he did half the stuff this dude is doing. Okay, let's get started. So, Dumpy is taking money from the military in order to fund his border wall. And I thought, honestly, that was illegal. I thought that a president could not take money from the United States military in order to do things, but I guess I was wrong because Dumpy's doing it. I thought that once the budgets were given to Congress and Congress agreed to those budgets, that the president couldn't just take money from the military allocated to whatever he wanted to do. But that is not the case because Donald Trump has taken $3.6 million from the Pentagon in order to try to fund his border wall. That is stalling 127 projects that were already, basically funded for in this $3.6 billion. So I'm just wondering how, how he, I think I should stop racking my brain on how this dude do stuff, because it is apparently clear that the Republican Party and the Democratic leadership at this particular point, because they're the only ones that are opposition on the Democratic side, is the Democratic leadership. Yeah, I'm talking about you and you know who you are. I don't have to say your names. But as Dumpy would say, I call her Nancy. Whatever, honey. So, on top it all off, Dumpy is going to practice eminent domain on people that are on the southern border in Texas. And one of those people, or rather two of those people, happened to be Donald Trump supporters. One of them by the name of Shirley Mender and Ivy Greenslit. Two Trump supporters that are now threatened with Donald Trump saying he's going to do eminent domain in order to build his wall. These are two of the 64% of white women that voted for Donald Trump. And they're a little bit outraged because they was like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't know his policies were going to affect me. Yes, boo-boo. Eventually, it comes around to you. See, I'm going to need y'all to go watch this Hulu series called Handmaid's Tale. Now, spoiler alert, when you get closer to the end, you realize that the people at the top that implemented all this horrible stuff in their society was a little surprised when the society started implementing this stuff on them. That's what happens, boo-boo. That's just what happens. Okay? That's when there are people in power, eventually they will come around to the powerful as well. Because greedy folks like Dumpy, they don't want a little piece, they want all of it. So eventually, all of his policies gonna affect the uber rich too, because he wants your money. He wants your land. He wants everything you got, because this dude, as we can see in his tax returns, was freaking, what, like $1 billion in the hole. This dude lost not only the $400 million that he inherited from his daddy, but he drove the whole damn business down the tubes and is in debt by what did they say, $960 million? Basically $1 billion in the hole. Okay, and y'all want him to run the country like he ran his businesses. That means you want him to bankrupt the United States of America over and over and over again, because that's what he did to all of his businesses. All right. Dumpy canceled a secret Taliban peace talk at Camp David. He said that he heard about the car bombing and therefore called for the canceling of the meeting because, well, American soldiers got, hurt. So he was like, I'm pulling out then. That was some sense. So I got to give him up on that one. He did one little thing that constituted some kind of cognitive ability up there. Okay, my last topic is talking about Pence and Dumpy. Quick, short, to the point. Pence is polling higher than Donald Trump. The campaign manager by the name of Brad Parscale, I do believe that's how you pronounce his last name correctly, but he's Donald Trump's campaign manager, and he ran a poll, and he polled people to see if people were looking favorably at Pence, for the presidency, and come to find out, Pence actually polled higher than Donald Trump. Now, that bruised Dumpy ego, and he didn't like it. So, all this back and forth about, being mad at Pence and all that stuff. That's why Pence ended up, when he went over to his, what's it called? Diplomatic trip, he had to stay at one of Dumpy's resorts while he was over there, even though it was like 200, 300 miles out of the way or something like that. So, go figure. Anyway. Oh, before I let you go, this is really important to me. If y'all would pretty please, do not forget about the Bahamian people that are still stuck on the Abaco and in Grand Bahama, particularly the city of Freeport on Grand Bahama. These people need your help. There's power is still out. Homes have been, just the frame of the home is still there. Furniture's gone, very little clean drinking water, no power. A lot of people still don't have powers in their home. So if you would please give, don't let the news cycle, just tell it to you and then you forget. Please, please, please help the Bahamian people. We'll have links in the description where you can help. Right now, the only resource I'm trusting at this particular point are the Bahama consulates, because I know that they're getting those resources directly to the people. Just to, just let you know. Yeah, please, please, please. You know me. You just need your help. And I'm hoping that you give, and I'm going to thank you in advance for it. But please go help these people. Visit a Bahama consulate, call the Bahama consulate. You can even mail in your stuff to the Bahama consulates. I think there's one in New York. I definitely know there's one in Atlanta, and there's one in Miami, and they will get those supplies directly to the people and in their hands. All right. I love you. Bye. Take it away, girlie. Well, thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Nice But Feisty. I am Mandy Nice, and I'm going to get right into my topics. But before I do that, I just want to reiterate what Tasha was saying. The Bahamian people are really struggling right now, particularly in Abaco and off of the island of Freeport, which is where my family is. There are literally homes that have been totally gutted out by that particular storm. And so what I would just pass on to you, if you do want to help families like my own that are still in Freeport, because a lot of people had to literally leave the island because there's really no clean running water. The power is still out there. So I'm just trying to let you know that it is, even though the news cycle is kind of dying down on that particular, it's still hard, and it's still nothing is the same, and just trying to rebuild their lives and get themselves back, to normalcy. So at any rate, if you guys would like to give, and I am asking you to please give, the Bahamian consulates are taking in goods, and they are taking in necessities, just simple things like toilet paper and soap and cell phone, solar cell phone chargers, things of that nature, just to help them until they can get back on their feet. I would suggest that you go visit the Bahamian consulate's websites, so you can know where to deliver the goods. Or if you have a Bahamian consulate near you, you can just go deliver the goods to them. And the reason why I'm directing you to the Bahamian consulates, because as of this time, we don't know where all of the GoFundMe money is going. And if you want to make sure that what you're giving gets directly to the people, the best way to do it is through the Bahamian consulates, which we will have the links in the description of this video. Okay, so that's that. And I'm sorry it took up so much of that time. It's just, people really need assistance right now. So there. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about my first topic. My first topic is speaking about the NYPD, that's New York Police Department. They're coming under fire right now because a 12-year-old child's DNA was collected for evidence after the police detectives questioned a boy and that was facing felony charges. After they ran his DNA into their criminal database, nothing came about when they questioned him, so he's no longer looking at that case. But but the parents of that child are very upset about the tactics that were used to collect their child's DNA. So basically, the NYPD did not get permission from the parents to collect his DNA, and not only that, the child did not discard, that means throw away, the can or the straw that he drank from. And I know a lot of people may say, well, he abandoned it. Well, his parents came to pick him up, so then they were like, okay, go. After questioning this child, literally a 12-year-old child, and think back to when you were 12. You probably laid drinks around all the time expecting to come back to drink it. That's usually what children do, by the way. And, but they used the straw to collect his DNA without the permission of the parents. I really have a problem with the fact that they even questioned a 12-year-old without his parents being present. That's a problem, okay? So at any rate, so this case is something to watch, because at this particular point, people need to be cognizant of the fact that, there's not always a good cop in the room that can give common sense, like, hey, we're questioning a 12-year-old. Maybe we should call his parents before we question him. Just a thought as, someone that may have children, because you wouldn't want your child to be questioned by strangers who have authority over them that could possibly pressure them into saying something that they don't mean, or, falsely confess, like what happened in the exonerated 5 in New York. So please, New York, please don't make the same mistakes like you did with the exonerated 5. When you have children in your presence, just call their parents, okay? Make it easier on yourself. Help us to help you, okay? All right. Now, the House Judiciary Commitment is set to vote on possible impeachment proceedings. So, in other words, there may possibly be an investigation put into place to actually impeach Mr. Donald Trump. And one of the points that they could actually make as that will give their case meat would be the fact that he violated the emoluments clause, basically enriching himself within the seat or the office of presidency. I mean, even, with Pence going on his, diplomatic tour or his diplomatic trip and actually staying in a Trump resort, literally that's the government paying Trump through his business. And that you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to enrich yourself as the president of the United States of America directly, okay? So that would actually put meat on their case, because this is not the first time that has happened. So, but this is a clear case of when he has enriched himself through the office of the presidency. All right, my last topic is talking about the Sackler family. Now, Tasha and I covered a topic, I think it was a week or two ago, where we spoke about a judge actually ruling against a pharmaceutical company, basically stating that they did have a role in aiding the opioid crisis in their state. And so at this particular time, there was a case, or actually a lawsuit, that was against Purdue Pharma, and the Sackler family owns Purdue Pharma. And they're the makers of Oxycontin, okay? And before, they didn't want to utilize their personal wealth in order to settle the case. Well, now they're changing their tune, and they are going to use their personal wealth in order to settle the case. And that case comes up to $4.5 billion that the Sackler family will pay out in order to settle the opioid claim against their company. So there's that. Well, all right then. That's all I have. Okay, bye. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty with Mandy Nice and Tasha Feisty. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Have a good one.